This episode is sponsored by BM Catalyst. Welcome back to Garage Talk Unwrapped, the podcast with me, Vicky.
And me, Ben.
Before we get started, we just want to say a big thank you to our brand new sponsor, BM Catalyst.
Europe's leading manufacturer of catalytic converters, DPFs and front pipes, helping to keep vehicles running cleaner and greener. And BM Catalyst have been supporting us right from the start of our Garage Talk journey. It's great to have them on board once again. For more details, go to bmcats.com. In this episode, we're talking about another vital but often overlooked element of our cars, the tyres. And what excellent timing, Vicky, as October is Tyre Safety Month.
Tyre Safety Month is led by the road safety charity Tyre Safe, and it's all about raising awareness of the dangers of defective or illegal tyres and encouraging drivers to check their tyre pressure, tread depth and overall condition. Doing those simple checks can reduce the risk of accidents, save you money on fuel, and prevent unnecessary breakdowns.
To help us dig into this important topic, we're joined by somebody who lives and breathes tyre safety. Any ideas, Vicky?
She's
also known.
Lady?
Yes, the Tyre Lady, Sophie Lyden. Sophie's been working in the industry for years and is very passionate about educating drivers on why looking after your tyres really matters.
So, whether you're a car enthusiast, someone in the trade, or just a driver who wants to stay safe on the road, this episode is packed with practical advice and insights you won't want to miss. Let's get started. Sophie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're here at Westgate Tyres in sunny Morecambe with you today to talk about your favourite subject, tyres.
Yep.
Before we tread any deeper into the subject...
Oh, God, here she goes already.
Let's tell our listeners a little bit more about you. I'm sure most people have heard of either you as Sophie or the Tyre Lady, but can you tell us a bit about your background and how you became known as the Tyre Lady?
So I have been within the family business for the past 11 years now. The family business has been going for 28 years, nearly 30 years. And I never really wanted to be in this trade. I wanted to be a zoologist. That was the one thing I wanted to be. I'd always aspired to work with animals, and I studied at college, did my animal management degree, was going to do my foundation degree at university, and then my mum unfortunately got bowel cancer. So luckily, obviously, she's fine now. She's still here with us. But
we've seen Mum today, haven't we?
Yeah.
We love Mum.
She's still here. Yes, she's still here. So obviously, luckily, she's absolutely fine. However, I kind of just sacked all my studies off with animal management and everything, and I got into hospitality, and that's why I'm so confident. I love speaking to people because it's something I've done for a long time. Worked behind bars. I had my own cocktail bar. It was mobile.
Nice.
I used to go to people's houses. It was really cool. And I still have it as my garden.
Do you travel to Telford?
I mean, I can do if you want. So I did all this, and then I got a job in Turtle Bay in Preston, and I was going through the management programme, and we had something called Storm Desmond. It seemed to hit here really badly, and it flooded all of Lancaster, and I couldn't get to work. The trains, there's landslides on the train lines. I couldn't get on the train. Basically, I couldn't turn up, because I was on a 0-hour contract. They just sacked me there and then. God. So I had a car finance payment to pay, so I came to my dad pleading, please, can you pay my car finance if I work for a week? And I have never left. Oh, wow. And I think I then started to become known in the industry just because Mum and Dad would send me on all the trips because they couldn't go. They needed to be here to run the business. So I got to go to like Valencia, Portimao, Ascari, testing tyres with GT. And then I met like loads of people. And then just through other events and stuff, became known as this young girl that works at Westgate Tyres. And then we had a really bad car crash outside the garage about 4 years ago. And the lady flipped on the roof, and me and my husband were first on scene because we'd been stood out on the forecourt. And I was kind of looking at it all like, wow, if that could just happen from someone being distracted, imagine what could happen if they'd been on the phone, no seatbelt, bald tyres, defects on the vehicle. So from then I started researching into road safety and working out what fatalities had been in this area. My husband became a firefighter from that.
From that accident?
Yeah,
wow.
So we both went into different things about how to protect the community. Okay. And then I was going to all these road safety conferences, and I was talking about tyres. Everyone kept going, oh, you're like the Tyre Lady, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I am actually. So I was going to all these conferences, and I was questioning, like, why do we not talk about vehicle defects? Why don't we talk about tyres? You purely always talk about speed, seatbelts, drugs, drink, everything. They are obviously important, but you are missing out a big thing, which is someone's got bald tyres, they're not going to stop. It's just another contributing factor to a crash. I just decided to create a personal brand, basically. And that was so, when I aim to take over the business and when I finally get there, I will have all these connections with people who I've met through doing my own networking and so on, so that it's a bit easier for me to navigate everything. So that was the reason for creating a personal brand. But also I have other aspirations like the Tyre Lady approved auto scheme and that kind of stuff. I have all these big aspirations and big visions that it's just putting them all into place but then running the business at the same time. So I then started posting all my content, which is what people will have seen. And in the past 2 years, I've gone from only having like 1,000 followers on LinkedIn to nearly 6,000 now, from sort of 800 people seeing a post to neck end of like one post got 1 million views, and it was mental. It was just purely about tyres. So I changed the name the Tyre Lady, and it's only another reason I called myself the Tyre Lady is because one of my sister's friends said, "Oh, your sister's that Tyre Lady, isn't she?" And I was like, yes, I'm using this. So
why not?
There's a really long way of me telling you how that's the Tyre Lady I was born, but yeah, because I'm just so obsessed. It's almost like my hyper-focus. With having ADHD, my hyper-focus is tyres, so I use it to the full potential.
And one person focusing on tyre safety is a hell of a task. So how important is Tyre Safety Month, which is October?
It's incredibly important because it shines a spotlight on the issue that people who are sort of involved in the world of tyre safety, we always talk about. However, I don't think it's enough that we do it. We always would, I mean, we've had talks with Tyre Safe before, and it'd be ace to do a full year based just doing something each month about tyre safety. And I think the best thing about it is it raises a profile. People are shocked at the statistics that come out. People are shocked at the information that people share. And then they'll progress to maybe think, I've not done much this Tyre Safety Month, but next year I'm going to do a bit more of my business, or it maybe inspires them to do something within their community the following few months. But I think it's crucial to raise, you know, the issue of tyre safety. And next year will be, I think it's 20 years of Tyre Safe. And me and my dad had the conversation the other day that I'm not shocked. I've seen the tyres on the roads around here for a long time now.
We've seen some of them on your posts and things.
Honestly, as you two have just arrived, there's a really good one, so I can't wait to show you that afterwards.
Wait, can I just say, you're about to do our 2 tyres today as well, so we'll be careful what we say.
I've been worried about this for weeks, thinking, oh my God, what if she sees something really bad?
Take photos of them.
At Ben, we provide free health and wellbeing support for life to automotive industry people and their families. Whether you're struggling with stress, money worries, or your mental health, help is just a call away at 08081 311 333 or visit ben.org.uk to chat or access tips and tools.
In general, my dad, we were talking about the other day, and I said to him, you've been in the industry now for more than 40 years. How do you think the condition of people's tyres have changed? And he said, they haven't.
Oh, wow.
He said, if anything, it's probably the same as it was, or it's got worse.
Do you think we're educated enough on tyres as a public?
No, not at all. If you weren't involved in sort of the trade, or the difference is, I think we've all maybe been brought up by parents, guardians, or whoever who have been that older generation that were always taught about vehicles and tyres. I remember my dad telling me about cars, about tyres, everything. And I think the younger generation that's coming to driving now, their parents maybe haven't been educated enough, so then they can't pass the education down. So I think at the moment it's going to be a ripple effect, and it is going to get worse. So I don't think we're educated enough, and I think it should be implemented into at least one day in a school curriculum, just a day of learning about the basics of car maintenance or how to check a car.
Oh, well, I mean, in schools, we don't even teach kids about finance, you know, what a mortgage is, or if you want to be self-employed, how to, you know, run your own business. So the thought of teaching them about cars as well is kind of even further down the line, I think. Shouldn't be, definitely not, but trying to get into those schools to help teach children about real life things that they need to know about is difficult.
Let's look at tyres now, and a few questions I personally have got from listening to other stuff. How do you feel the tyre industry is looking at the moment? There's a few negatives around the tyre industry as a whole. How do you feel it's looking?
I think as a whole, the industry is probably, I think it's plateauing at the moment. I don't think, just because we have all the increases in costs, obviously we had the whole issue of not being able to access carbon black because Putin won't let it out of Russia, so having to get it from other sources, which means tyres have gone costs had increased. And then we had the whole, was it Suez Canal?
Yeah, Suez.
So
Yeah.
that whole issue, that has then added extra costs. So obviously then we had the red pirate issue. So you'll have seen all across social media how these red pirates are attacking cargo ships and so on. Well, those cargo, most were tyres as well. So they were having to take an extra 2 weeks on a different journey, which meant extra costs for the crew, extra costs for the ship, everything, just so they were safe. They couldn't cut through this certain place. I think it's the Red Sea or something.
Yeah,
Red Sea
it's
pirate.
I think it
So
is,
they
yeah.
couldn't cut through that part because of these pirates, because people were scared for their lives. So then that was an extra cost. And then we've also got the new import taxes that have changed.
Been
It's
a
all
rough
very
few
technical.
years. Yeah.
So it's interesting because I like to learn about it all and like to learn like what's actually going on. But I also think that the business has increased, even though we've hit the cost of living crisis. This year for us has been a very, very busy year. And we do say we think a lot of it is down to a lot of the stuff I do by going out and talking about tyres, but also just the increase on social media. And we did a post the other day about garage anxiety because we had a customer that came in and she got really upset about being in a garage environment. And we basically showed her she was absolutely fine. And we did a post about it and it's been seen by thousands of people and all the comments have been so lovely, like best garage around, most trustworthy, most honest. So I think it was nice for us because sometimes I think it's difficult because we all get tired of the same brush of being cowboys.
Yeah. Garages that don't sell tyres,
Yeah.
correct?
I can't understand it.
Okay, that's all right. Do you think they're missing out?
Massively. I can't understand it. If it's for, I don't know, I just can't understand it because we've always done it. I mean, we started off in 1997 purely as, it was called Westgate Tyres and Bumpers. So it was that small little middle shop, which I'll show you and I'll show you around in a bit.
Look out for that on the video. Garage Talk Unwrapped on YouTube.
Shameless plug.
So the middle section, which was our custom exhaust pit, which we've shut down now, it's just tyre storage. That was where my dad first started. That was in 1997. And he purely just did tyres, wheels and body kits because it was max power days. So you can imagine lights, all that kind of jazz on the cars. And then we then moved into the other unit. We moved into that, I think it was 2007, 2008, could have been sooner. And then we started to do more tyres, brakes, exhaust, fast fit, all that kind of stuff. And then we opened the service centre. So we've like done it the other way around.
Yeah, that's
whereas
interesting.
other people sort of open a service
centre.
centre, then they realise that they need the tyres too. So I think it's just hard for me to comprehend why they don't, because we've done it the way we've done it, I can't understand it.
Do you think it's easier doing it from a service-centred tyres or from the way you've done it from tyres the other way around?
I don't know. I guess it's difficult to say because we've done it this way. Basically, we have a lot of customers who purely just have service centres and they use us. We fit their tyres, then they take them back and then put them back on the car. Absolutely fine. We love trade customers. Some of the best customers we've got because they're so loyal, so reliable. But then they're missing out on that extra profit.
Yeah.
So we're obviously charging them to fit those tyres. Then they've got to charge that customer. They've still got to make something on top of that. Whereas if they had a tyre machine and some stock of tyres, they could be making that purely themselves. And I get it's cost as well. But I just think it's a massive miss if you don't do it.
That's a fantastic link onto the next question. Do you think garages fit cheaper tyres because there's a higher percentage of profit and then customers will return quicker?
I don't know. Because if you could see the cost of the tyres that we purchase them at, most of the time mid-range tyres are only a fraction more. So I think, obviously we sell budget tyres because of the area that we're in. It differs across the UK as to what people's budget is and what they spend. And I think this area specifically, budget and mid-range it must be probably actually 70%, 30% would then be premium. So as when we fit budget tyres, we purely do it because the customer has asked us to, because that's all they can afford. I always try and upsell to a mid-range product, and that's purely because most come with the accidental damage warranties. They've got better guarantees with them. They are just a better tyre in general, and it's usually for not much more, maybe £10 an extra corner, £20 an extra corner. And I know it still seems a lot, but they're going to get a better tyre.
In the long run,
It's really hard to tell because you could fit a budget tyre, and that budget tyre could outlast a mid-range brand that's really well known. So, I mean, there's a mid-range brand on your car at the moment. I'm not going to mention the name. But for us, if we ever get anyone comes in and says they've had those fitted, I'm like, that's just a budget tyre.
Yeah.
Because the way I've seen those wear, the way I've seen the issues with sidewall splitting and stuff, to me, it's just a budget tyre. It's really hard. Honestly, the tyre world is so confusing. I wish I could take you around and like explain every single thing to you in a day. It's just not possible. But I think the people in the trade, and I'm going to mention it, I don't really want to, but I want to mention it, the biggest ones who make the most profit and sell the worst products is the part wall market.
Yeah, I did have a question about that, but there you go on about the part wall market.
What is your opinion on part one, Sophie?
So I can play devil's advocate, to be honest, because if I kind of agree with it. So there was once a point where I was at the NTDA conference and the DVSA came in and they said, well, you must reuse and recycle. To me, that's, well, why would you reuse a tyre that's been on someone else's vehicle? You don't know the life of it. You don't know the history of it. So I don't agree with it. However, when part worns are sold, they should clearly display a bright white part worn sign on the side of the tyre. I've never seen that, ever. They should be properly pressure tested before they're resold to the customer. The customer should watch them inflate. They should have proof that they're not leaking from anywhere. Don't think I've ever seen that ever done either. And they are just not properly legislated. At the moment, there is a thing where if you bought a tyre off me and I didn't properly talk you through what the label of the tyre is, I can get fined £10,000. But a part worn dealer can sell a tyre that is defective without you knowing about it, which has got maybe 2 mil of tread on it, because that's the lowest that you can sell a part worn tyre at, and sell you it for 65 quid, but they don't get fined anything.
That's crazy.
And they buy the tyres, they get imported over, or most people in the UK don't usually sell their scrap tyres for part ones. It's just we get the imports over, and they probably buy them at £5, £6, £7 a tyre and resell them at £65, £75 if they want to, depending on what the tread's on them.
So do you have to ask for part one tyres as a customer then, or can you sometimes just be, we go in asking for tyres and do they just put part ones on there without telling us?
I mean, if somebody did that, then it'd be quite bad. If you went to somewhere where they clearly sold part ones and new tyres, that could potentially happen. So most people, that if they do walk in and say, oh, do you sell part ones? And then we say no, it's a false economy because you're getting half a used tyre for probably the same price I can sell you a budget tyre for. Yeah. So in a sense, when we fit budget tyres, it's more of a case of we're just trying to stop that person buying a part worn tyre because they don't know the life of it and they're not sold properly. But playing devil's advocate, if people sold them properly and they got properly legislated, I agree with what DVSA say when they say we must reuse, recycle, because if you decided, let's say you've got a Ford Focus, you've got 205 55 16s on there and they were brand new Michelins and you thought, you know what, these are a bit noisy. I don't like them. I want to change to something else. And I had the same car as you and you said, I've got 4 Michelins here. I've literally done 100 miles on them. Do you want them? Give me 50 quid for them. I'm going to buy some other tyres because I don't like them. Yeah. I agree with that.
When you put it like that, it makes sense.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I agree with that because otherwise it's a waste product and it's going straight to landfill or it's clogging up on ports somewhere because they're being imported over to India. So in a sense, I agree with it. I just do not agree with the people who sell them backstreet, who sell part ones that have got puncture patches in, that have been clearly repaired, and sell them for more than what we sell a budget tyre from.
When quality matters and emissions count, demand precision. BM Catalysts is Europe's leading manufacturer of aftermarket hot-end emissions products. From catalytic converters and OE-level components to expert technical training available on Garage Pro, BM delivers best-in-class manufacturing, rigorous performance, and full compliance. Need parts you can trust? Visit bmcats.com. Partner with BM. Drive profit, exceed expectations. Going back to Tyre Safety Month, the theme this year is under pressure. Oh, please don't start singing. So under pressure, highlighting that stress and pressures from daily life affect how regularly or thoroughly we carry out routine checks on our cars. How often should people be checking their tyres realistically, do you think?
I think once a week. And I think once a week because most people commute nowadays. They're travelling. Once a week, we'll go down towards St Helens Way, Warrington, Wigan, because I play rugby, Jackson plays rugby. My season's finished now, but his hasn't. So we're still travelling once a week, and that's 100 miles in a day. So the advice always used to be once a month. But I think because people are just doing so many more miles now that it should be once a week, because you could go a whole month and not realise that you've got a puncture because maybe it's going down really slowly and your TPMS light's not come on. and then you could go on the motorway and that tyre could blow out. So doing it once a week where it takes 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes that could save your life. So I honestly think it should be a week.
And what are the 3 key things drivers should check regularly on their tyres?
Air, condition, tread, act, like Tyre Safe always say. So they should always check the air, which you should do it cold. So I recommend, and I'm going to do a nice plug for my friends, and that's Ring Automotive's cordless pumps, all the corded ones.
You'll see one of them in the back of our car.
Yep. And I've got one in the back of mine as well. They kindly send me some every so often, which I appreciate. I recommend those to customers all the time because they've probably been, until I actually made friends with them, and they sent me out some gifts and stuff. I used to use another crappy one, which literally, it didn't last very long and it went. So I've got the heavy duty Ring Automotive one and then I've got the new one now. Lasts ages. It's great. It's really fast, easy to use. So I always recommend those to customers. And you should always do it when your tyres are cold, which is why I'm saying about getting a pump, because you do it at home before you set off on a journey. And you should do it cold because you just looked at me and like, why should I do it cold? You should do it cold because as soon as you drive on your tyres, obviously they get warm. So the pressure increases. So you could maybe drive 10 miles to the nearest petrol station and those tyres have got warmer and the pressure reading would not be accurate. So you could actually be reading at 34, but your tyres might actually be down to 30 and you don't know about it. And if that's not the correct pressure for your vehicle, then you get wear on the tyres that would either wear on the outside edge or if you overpressure them on the inside of the tyre, like right in the middle. Condition should always be checking for no cracks, no perishing, anything in the tread, like stones, nails that have maybe just not gone all the way through. And tread, obviously, anything should be over 3 millimetres because I was advised to change from them because they don't get the water out efficiently after they go below 3 millimetres.
When I was doing research on this, it came up with the 20p test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the outside edge of a 20p, I do have a massive 20p somewhere. I don't know where it is. It used to be in here. The outside edge of a 20p is 1.6. It's the little band that goes round. It's 1.6 millimetres. So if you put it in your tread across the 3 points, then if it's in line or below, the tyres need to be changed as soon as possible. If it's just above, you're okay for now. And if it's really above, then obviously you're absolutely fine and you're safe. It's a really good one to get kids to do. So my kids love to do it on the car. And when I do road safety events, I always tell kids about it. And I'm like, do this at home and then you can check if your family's car's safe. Okay. So yeah, it's a good one.
I bet the kids don't give the 20 pence back, do they?
No. I don't mind. I'll
How
let them
many
have
20p's
it.
have you lost?
Lost so many.
What are some of the most common tyre problems you see that could have been prevented with regular checks?
Alignment wear. So having your alignment is so crucial when you have brand new tyres because the road conditions are awful. We have so many potholes everywhere, literally everywhere. And even though we pay all this road tax, that nobody ever does anything. And basically driving on the road, if you hit a curb, if you hit a pothole, if you hit anything that basically you think, oh, I don't know what's that's going to have done to my car, he's probably knocked your alignment out. We're all under pressure and we're all stuck for time and they've hit something and they think, oh, I'll just go and get it checked tomorrow. And it's knocked the car out of line. They carry on driving for like another 200-300 miles. And over time, rather than the car being straight, it's a bit wonky. The chassis is straight, but the wheels aren't.
How long does it take to just go in and quickly have your alignment looked
So
at?
it doesn't take usually more than half an hour. And that's if it needs adjusting. If it's just a check, then it's not long. We do free checks, and then obviously if it needs aligning, then we would charge. But it's always worth just popping somewhere just get it checked, and then at least you know then because you've got brand new tyres on, it just wears them away. And a perfect example of it is actually, I put it on my LinkedIn, a gentleman had been here in February, had 2 new tyres on his van, didn't have his alignment checked because he was pushed for time because he had to get to a customer, came back 3 months later because his alignment was so bad it wore off the inside edges of his tyre. That, and also it's the cracking and perishing, which I don't know if you know, a geeky fact, but if you have cracks and perishes on your tyres, even though they might not be too old, it is a breakdown in the compound of the rubber and it hardens over time. And because we don't have the whole rules of changing from summer to winter tyres or all-season tyres, the summer tyres do crack and perish because they're not looked after properly. And then with the weathers that we get, water, then you are sitting in standing water, or you park in a puddle, that water is sucked up. It's called water ingress. And slowly it eats at the steel and rayon bands. And then the tyre goes out of shape. And that's how you get wobbles like wheel balancing, or they just let go and blow out.
I think that's what's happened to me. I've got too much water in me and I've gone out of shape. So what is your advice for winter versus summer while you're talking about that? What would you say to listeners?
So again, like touching back on what I just said then about how we don't change our tyres. Like you go to different countries, Austria and Germany and whoever else have the rules of changing to winter tyres, they literally have tyre hotels where they keep the summer tyres in special temperature controlled containers.
Just like, oh.
Yes,
When I went to Austria, I met a German couple and they told me that they actually like check on them and make sure that they're okay. It's quite cute.
Do they
actually.
like play the music so they don't feel lonely?
Yeah, like
Thanks for listening, everybody. We've now gone on to a different subject.
so I think my advice for winter is I don't like to tell people to put winter tyres on because I know we don't all get like horrendous winters, but obviously the people that live higher up and in places that do get harsher winters, I do advise to change the tyres. Mainly, if the advice I was going to give, I would say go for an all-season tyre because obviously it's basically a hybrid. A summer tyre stops working at 7 degrees, whereas a winter tyre, it starts working at 7 degrees and below. So your all-season tyre does both. So it works below temperatures 7 degrees and it also works temperatures all the way up to 40 degrees. So that tyre can handle every single weather condition. So if I was going to say to put your money into a tyre, I would definitely say an all-season.
7 degrees is really low, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And when's the crossover point? No, we can't answer that because it's been quite cold lately, especially in the morning.
Looking to hire skilled technicians without the hassle? At Easy to Recruit, we make recruitment simple, affordable and effective. We help you find the talent you need quickly, saving you time, stress and money. The best part? We take care of the heavy lifting so you can focus on running your business. Ready to make recruitment easy? Visit us at www.easytorecruit.co.uk, call us on 017 8822 0694 or email sales@easytorecruit.co.uk today. Easy to Recruit, redefining the hiring process.
Well, that's the easy questions over. Now, in your experience, do EVs use tyres quicker than ICE cars?
Yes, they do. They do. And it's purely because I think the owners of EV vehicles are not educated enough as to what they're driving. They think they're saving the world by driving an electric car, which they're not, because they think there's no emissions from an electric car, but they still have the carbon emissions from the tyres, which is one of the biggest contributors over exhaust fumes, I'll have you know. And they don't realise how heavy they are. They have so much torque that the tyres almost can't keep up with it, depending on what kind of tyres you put on. So Teslas, they should have Michelin's, and they should have the TO rating on the side, or Hancocks, the TO rating on the side. Same with Polestars, they should have the Michelin's with the POL on the side, which is the Polestar one. You shouldn't put anything else on unless it's properly EV rated. So most of them just who have electric cars. You have the groups, you have electric cars probably for business and people who are really invested in that electric car will not put anything else other than what is OE equivalent, what's come out of factory on. They're always the people that look after them. You have the other people that have got electric cars because they wanted to be cool and have an electric car. No one's cool with an electric car. Sorry, that's just my opinion.
At least the ones that have the plugs coming out the letterbox.
Yeah, literally. My neighbour's got one at the moment, actually.
Just go and plug it.
So they'll turn up. Like yesterday, I had a lady turn up in a Tesla. She had no clue what she was doing with the tyres. She didn't know that there needed to be certain tyres for a Tesla. She put a budget on it. And it's because she needed to go somewhere and her tyre was knackered. And I had a budget in that size. And I said, I really don't want to put this on. I can't put it on. I'm going to have to put it on your receipt to say that it's not equivalent to what that should be on. She said, it's fine. I'll get it changed and I get back to where I need to go. I just need to get home.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. Yeah, but then what can you do if the customer asks and that's all they can afford? Do you make them unsafe or do you make them safe?
Well, MOT failure rates, EVs, there's almost 1% more on MOT failures because of the tyres. And if you think about ICE cars, they're a lot older than EVs.
Yeah.
That's not right, is it?
But also, it's funny because when I see my MOT certificates, it'll say, the brand new Porsches, the Porsche Taycans, so the electric ones, we MOT'd one a few weeks ago and it literally advised on the tyres because it needed them doing because there's not much else they can really check on them. Please correct me if I'm wrong if you are an MOT tester because I would love to be corrected because I could be wrong. But most say underbody covers fitted because they can't see anything.
Oh, because they can't take them off to
So they can look at the suspension, obviously, but there's nothing else to look at because under there is just a battery. So when they're testing an electric vehicle, I don't know what they really test on it.
Must plug it in and just hope.
Hope for the best.
Hope for the best, yeah. They must just plug it in and then think, it's all done by
The
machines.
computer will tell them
But,
if
yeah.
there's anything wrong. Yeah.
And that's perhaps why they had a bit more
That's
tight on
scary,
tyres.
actually.
Apparently now you've put Quickfire around,
Uh-huh.
and people can't understand me when I'm trying to talk slowly, so I'm going to drop out at this point, Victoria, and leave it between you and Sophie.
Excellent. Favourite car you've ever driven?
Audi S3. I had it. It was my baby.
Most unbelievable tyre story you've got?
Get comfy.
Does it have to be about a tyre that I've taken off, or can it be a good story about an experience?
You do you, Sophie. You do.
I'll do me. The most unbelievable tyre story I have actually is probably the fact that when I was 18, I got flown out to Ascari. It's a private racetrack in Spain. And we basically got put on the track. We got to drive Audi TTRSs, Golf GTIs, Golf GTDs, and John Cooper Works Minis, which doesn't sound like amazing, obviously, but they were really good cars to drive.
Souped up.
Yeah, and it was honestly the best experience I've ever had in my life. I talk about it all the time. There was like no helmets involved because it was a private racetrack. They put me in a GTI Golf and with a walkie-talkie in the little cup holder next to me. I said, right, go on, send it.
By yourself?
By myself. And I was going really slowly and someone came over the radio Spanish goes, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know how to drive on a racetrack. And he's like, okay, come back. So I came back. They got back in the car with me and this Spanish guy was going to me, what are you doing? I was like, I don't know. I've never driven on a racetrack before. I had the whole day. I was coached by professional race drivers. Literally, I had the best time. I was on skid pans. We were drifting round. It was just the best experience. I'd love to do it again because it was just amazing. And then the next bit, we got taken off track. So we'd all had our time there into the clubhouse, which was just outstanding. I've never experienced. It's like being in a big millionaire's mansion. There was a helipad on top of it, everything. Full spread barbecue. And I'm thinking, they said, right, we're going to go for the private tour of the garage now. No phones allowed. So we got taken down. Oh my God. I can't even tell you what cars were in there because I was just in like, ADHD.
Out-of-body experience.
Yeah, it was honestly. If anyone's listening to this has been to Ascari in the garages, they'll know what I mean. But there was Ascaris, there was Lamborghinis, there was Ferraris, there was rare cars that you've never seen before. And it's all private collections of all these really rich people who just fly in, drive on the track, have something to eat and then go home.
Wow.
And I got to race there.
Sophie went around going, your tyres not in the
Yeah.
best condition.
I'm sat there in the car going, I don't know what to do.
500 grand car, your tyre needs replacing. Come to Westgate.
Literally.
One tyre myth you'd love to bust forever?
The old Chinese tyres are rubbish. People say that these tyres, they're Chinese tyres, then. I don't want to buy that. Doesn't make a difference. So there's a whole thing that went round on social media. Some guy was talking about how these tyres are made in China, they're no good. And then for some reason it got taken over by loads of people and all people used to come in and say, well, where's that tyre made? I don't want anything that's made in China. So then we used to argue back and be like, what phone have you got? An iPhone. Where's it made? In China. Where's your clothes made? In China. Like obviously Churchill's, they're made China, Cambodia. They've moved locations and stuff. But Ceylon, which is the factory where they're made, is one of the, if not the best factories in the world for making tyres. They make Ceylon, Churchill, Admiral, they make Rodex, Dynamo, they make all different tyres there, and it is one of the cleanest, best factories you will ever see. The people literally just think that you tap into a machine and make me a 205 55 16 and this machine makes anything, whereas there has to be the whole investigation and into what compound's going to be good. You've got scientists behind the scene who make everything to do with the tyre that they think actually this is going to last longer, this is going to these sipes are going to be perfect for this weather condition, this is going to be this is going to be that, we're going to call it this is what the tread patterns. There's so much that goes into making a tyre. Just because it's made in China doesn't mean it's no good.
If drivers only remember one thing from this episode, what should it be?
To check your tyres once a week and make sure you're safe and your occupants are safe.
How can garages and drivers get involved and spread awareness about Tyre Safety Month?
They could inquire about the Tyre Lady auto approved centres, which I'm going to plug myself for, because if you become a member of that, I will give you all the information and all the top tips on how to become involved more with road safety partnerships with the emergency services in your area and to be able to host more road safety events and provide a safe space for your community. But they can get in touch with Tyre Safe through the website, and on there is literally libraries of materials to use on their social media. There is a great team behind Tyre Safe, and I think that this Tyre Safe month under pressure should be a really good one. I've got a day where I'm spending with Transport of Greater Manchester and the Manchester Police, and we're doing they're pulling people over. I'm not going to say what date because if you're in Manchester, you might panic. But we're going to be pulling people over, checking tyres. They will be getting prosecuted.
But you'll also have some good news stories out of that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Garages, service centres, whoever want to try and keep their community safe, get in touch with people like Tyre Safe, get in touch with local emergency services, the local road safety partnerships. Just doing that, they could then come and ask questions like, well, could you attend this road safety day with us? And then you make the communications, then you make all the connections, and then you create a safe space for your community.
So those are all the questions we've got for you, Sophie. Thank you so much for taking part in our little podcast. Where's the best place our listeners can find out more about you and Westgate Tyres?
So my biggest profile is probably LinkedIn, which you'll find me as Sophie Lyden on there. And I post usually daily. Depends if I remember to post or I've scheduled something. You can find me on Instagram as @the_Tyre_Lady or @the Tyre Lady Approved Auto Centres. I think that's my tag name. Or you can find me on TikTok @the Tyre Lady. Just look for the Tyre Lady and I'll pop up.
I think it's fair to say that you're a credit to the industry.
Oh, thank you.
And we're big fans of you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sophie.
Thank you for joining us, Sophie.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I've learned something about tyres there, Vicky. I don't know about you.
Sophie's brilliant, isn't she? She's so knowledgeable.
She's absolutely amazing. And some of the things that we were taught, I wouldn't know.
No, definitely. Checking your tyre pressures when they're cold. The 20p trick, which that passed me by.
Well, from Dolgefly, I mean, you don't have 20p's there, do you?
We still trade in stones.
Yeah, and the water, the shift of the water as well when you're driving around and the tread. I mean, we all know the legal limit, but Sophie's on about 3 mil. I mean, that's almost double what the legal limit is. So
yeah, it's looking at best practices, isn't it? Rather than just the very bare minimum of what you need to do.
I like the way she tackled the summer tyres v winter tyres head on as well. And her answer about EVs, I think that was...
Yeah, very interesting. I think she highlighted that EV drivers aren't educated about their vehicles properly when they buy them, are they? I mean, are they given a rundown on all of these things about the tyres and, MOTs that they're not going to be able to look under the car? And it's a whole new world, isn't it?
It is. And that's why education always is key. But I think the fact that we should be ensuring that tyres on EVs are to spec, and that will save many accidents, as Sophie says. But I think it's scary to hear some of the stories. And some of the tyres we saw afterwards as well, with no tread or the cords showing
the splits
and things. I know.
Scary.
I know. Anyway, that's all for this episode. A huge thank you to Sophie, the Tyre Lady, for joining us and sharing her expertise during Tyre Safety Month. As Sophie said, for more information on Tyre Safety Month, do head over to tyresafe.org.
And another thank you to this episode's sponsor, BM Catalysts. BM Catalysts are all about quality and precision. They invest heavily in research, technology and testing to make sure every part they produce not only performs brilliantly, but also meets strict emission standards. Whether it's catalytic converters, diesel particulate filters or front pipes, they're trusted across the aftermarket for reliability and innovation.
We really do appreciate their backing of this podcast. If you want to find out more about what they do and how they're leading the way in emissions control technology, do head over to bmcats.com. Finally, thank you so much for listening as always. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to follow Garage Talk Unwrapped on your favourite podcast platform. Hit the bell so you never miss a new episode.
We hope you've picked up some useful tips and feel inspired to check your tyres. Remember, it only takes a few minutes and it could save lives, money and hassle. Next time, we'll be talking about apprenticeships. Until then, drive safe.